Hey everyone and welcome to this tutorial of Git and Github. In this tutorial series I'll be explaining you what is Git, what is GitHub and much more. So Git is a version control system which basically is used to track changes in source code and coordinate while making software. So we're going to see how that works. But before that you need to have Git installed. For that you need to go to git-sem.com/downloads. The link will be in description and you can download for your operating system. Now I am on Windows, so I can just press Windows and this will start downloading. Now I already have it. It will give you an exe, then you have to install the setup and you will be done. So I already have it, I'm not going to do this again. Now there is full uh, books and documentation and it also have a GUI, but we just need to work with command line git for now. Once you've installed git, you have to open up cmd. I have Windows terminal here, but some of you might not have it, so I'm just gonna remove it for now. So you just open up your cmd and type git, and you should see something like this when you type git. So these are all the commands. Now you need to configure your username and email here, and for that you need to have an account on GitHub. Now what is GitHub? GitHub is a place where you can see the code. For example, I have an account on GitHub. Here I can see the code. So for example, I have this repository that is a Discord bot, so I can go to the files and read the code. So this is what GitHub is, and here you can see all the commits that I have made through GitHub. Now this might be a little bit complicated for you, so leave it. The simple thing is you need to have an account on GitHub. I already have one, actually I have two just for demonstration purposes. The other account is this one, and I'm following myself with this account. So I have two accounts, so you need to make only one, and once you are done then you can configure your email and username in Git. Now to configure your username and email, so to configure your username and email you need to type some commands of Git in your terminal. So these are the commands: git config -global global user.name, and here your username will come. That will be like, my username is fresh29, if I can spell that right, and I'm not gonna tell my email, but you can give your email here that you have used in your GitHub account. So that's how it works. So hope you understand this, and this is going to configure username and email in your Git, and we're just going to see in a second that how useful is that. So I can actually close this, and once you have done the configuration we can start working with Git. Now as you are new to Git and GitHub, so if you go to your repository tab it will be empty, but I have it with some repositories. I can show you with another account. This should be empty. Let's see. I pressed the wrong link. So as you can see, I have one repository, but this is forked from my repository, so I mean this will be empty for you, just understand that. So you can click this new repository. I'm just going to create a repository name hello world. So let's make that. So let's keep our repository name as hello world for now. Now you can keep with underscores or like that. I'm going to keep it hello world, and by default you can't have spaces, so just GitHub will just put a dash in here like this dash, and this is valid name. If you put the space it's going to give you a warning that we are going to rename this repository according to our rules, so that you need to keep in mind. Now you can give a description of like making tutorial, so you can see it. for Git and GitHub. Now you can make it private or public. If you are working on open source project, it will be private because that is open source, else it can be private too. Did I just say something wrong? You are working on open source project, it should be public, and if it you want to work on private project, it should be private. That's the right thing. Now you can add some readme files, git ignore files, and license. Now you might not know what are these, so just uncheck them for now and create a repository. Now on creating the repository, you will see this weird and scary stuff for you, but it's actually pretty simple. All we care about is this code. For now, these commands, I'm saying code, these are actually commands for git. Now we are going to see what are these, but we need to do something on our machine first. So just go to your desktop and make a new folder named hello world. In the folder, open up the folder and navigate to the folder using command line, that is cd desktop slash hello world. So you are in this folder, and if you don't know how to navigate, you can also write cmd in here. It will open up cmd for you in here, but for now this is all we want. In here you are going to write a command. Okay, let's leave the command for now. We need to first add some files. So let's just open, like, make a new text file in here, and I'm going to name it file.txt. And in the file we're going to write, this is a simple text file for Git and GitHub YouTube tutorial, if I can spell that right, tutorial. So we have one file in here, and I'm just going to show you a really cool thing right now. It will be cool for you if you're a beginner. Once you've added some file, you need to initialize a Git repository. Now just write git init, and it has initialized the repository or repository. I like to spell it that way. So as you can see, it has created a folder for us. By the way, this is a hidden folder. So to actually see this folder, you need to change some settings, I guess. I don't know where to change that. I forgot actually. So let me see. You don't actually need to see this folder, just showing for the tutorial, because this folder contains something that you most probably would not understand, so just ignore it. That's why it's a hidden folder, so people ignore it. So this is a git folder, and it tells us that a git repository is initialized in here. So once you are initialized the repository, you can do like git. Now we need to add files to git. Right now if we do git status, which just tells us the status for our files that we've changed, we have added the files, the code we changed, that all. If we do git status, it says on branch master, no commits yet, untracked file, use git file to include what has been committed. It says that we have added a file named file.txt, but we have not staged the changes. Now let me explain what staging is. I hope I explained in the right way. So let us wait for it to open. So basically, for example, you have added a file. For example, we have added a file in here. I need to type right from mouse file. We need to first add it to Git, the repo that we have initialized. So we need to add it first, or we can say them stage the changes, and then we can give some commit message like added file. For now I will write AF, and then it's committed. Once it's committed, it's committed to the main branch, and code is actually committed to the project that we are working on. Then we can push it to GitHub. Now this might be confusing for you, but I'm just gonna explain everything. So first of all, let's see what are branches actually. So branches are something, for example, you started a project today, it's working on a branch, you released first version of a game, it's on is the first version. Now for example, you don't want to change the main code that is on the main branch, but you want to add some feature to the game. For example, it's a shooting game and you need to add another gun. So what you can do is make another branch of any name that will be separated from the main branch. The code of the main branch will not be affected, and you can still work on the new feature on this other branch. Once you are done with the feature, you can create a pull request and merge this branch with the main branch. Then your change that you have made here will be released. The new gun will be added without altering the main code meanwhile you are working on the feature. So that's what we call branches. Now there can be sub branches of the sub branches, and even these sub branches, I think so. So I hope that makes sense. So let's add the files. We can do git add. Now we can also type file.txt, but to add all the files at the same time we do git add dot. It's added all the files. Now if we run git status, it says that we need to just commit them now. So we can commit them. Git commit -m. It means that we also need to give some message. If I just run git commit, you can see it gives us something like this, and it says please enter the message. It's actually Vim in the terminal based code editor. If you don't know, then don't worry. What you can do is write :q, or yes, :q to exit it. Now you need to actually give a message if you want to, if you don't want this screen to come up. So just to escape it, you need to write :q, and what is this? Okay, we are good. So we need to give a message like git commit -m, and you can say that my first commit, but that's really common commit. So I'm just gonna say added file.txt, and you can also say that first commit like this. Now you have made your first commit, and now we can actually push it to GitHub. So to push it to GitHub, we need that 3 lines of commands. The first is git remote add origin. It's add a remote origin. It adds a remote origin to your GitHub repository. So you can paste it and it will add the remote origin. Next we need to make a branch. So we can do like branch branch -m, which means it is the master branch. You can also call it main master. I like to call it main, so I'm just gonna say main, and you can do git push -u origin origin main. Now this will push your code to GitHub, and you can see the file instead of these weird commands. So if you refresh the repository, you can see there is a file.txt, and it says this is a simple txt file for Git and GitHub. Now here you can see we have made one commit, and the commit message is added file.txt, and when you click on this commit you can see all the changes that we have made. It says showing one file change with one addition and 0 deletion, which means that one file was added and it was also edited. with one addition, that is addition of one line and zero deletion. So now we're going to edit that file a little bit more. So let's go. Now I'm going to say it here, updated, and I'm going to save the file. Now if I run git status, let me clear up the screen. If I run git status, it says your branch is up to date with origin main, change is not staged for commit. It says we have modified file.txt and we need to stage it or add it. So I'm just going to say git add. Now you can only do file.txt, the files that you have changed. I like to do git add dot, which means all the files, and then git commit -m. You can say updated file.txt with evidence. So the evidence is this little line or word that is updated. So if we go back to our repository, you can see if we, okay, so we have not pushed the changes. Make sure you push the changes. So git push, and you don't need to write those three commands again and again. Once you initialize the repository, edit the remote origin, and made the main branch, and once specified on which branch to push, you can just write git push, and it should actually work for you. So if we refresh, it says updated file.txt with evidence. It says 2 commits. Now let's click on this message. You can see that we have one addition with one deletion. Now we have not deleted the whole line, but GitHub takes it as that we have deleted the whole line and added a new line, and it shows that we have only added one word. So that's the really basics of Git and GitHub. Hope this tutorial made some sense, and I will meet you in next tutorial.